Welcome to the jungle, savages. My name is Baloo the Bear, and this is the Crypto Jungle, the only crypto YouTube channel that doesn't accept payments and lie to you, getting you into trouble with all the bullshit shit coins out there. We're taking a look at the crypto market. You know, we're keeping on top of the progression of the bear market, analyzing it to the point where we can determine where I believe there is a strong bull case to be made, where we can begin to speculate in terms of a potential bull market. We're not there yet. Spoiler alert, we're not there yet. We're still very early in potential phase B, and potentially not even phase B of our Wyckoff accumulation. If you're new here, we study the Wyckoff method. It's one of the best methods of technical analysis. It's also one of the least popular because it usually tells people the answers that they don't want to hear. But regardless, it's one of the most effective methods of analysis that I have found. So if you're new here, I want to invite you to subscribe or follow if you are on Twitch. And without any further ado, let's just dive right into it, taking a look at the king of all crypto, that is Bitcoin. All right, taking a look at Bitcoin here on the daily, we have our downwards channel that we've been watching for a while, and then we also have our bearish. Where did the bottom of my bear flag go? Where did the bottom of my bear flag go? Let's zoom in here and put that back on. We were watching for the break of the bottom of the bear flag. We got the break of the bottom of the bear flag. And we didn't even get much of a bearish test here, and we're already back down to the area of support. So we're sitting right around the $20,000 level. We'll cover the bullish case. So what I would like to see in terms of a bullish case scenario is I want to see this general area right here hold. Okay, so I want to see Bitcoin hold here. Maybe even rally off of this level. I would love it if we broke past this channel and then began to, accumulate sideways. I want to see some sideways trading activity. I don't care where. I don't care what the structure looks like, as long as somewhere in this general range we start trading sideways. A lot of people think that the market has kind of two directions, bear market down and bull market up, but the market actually moves sideways more than anything. The markets, all markets, as long as they're not indexes and as long as they're not manipulated, only move up and down during impulse moves. So those are where you're going to get your bull markets and your bear markets. Most of the time they trade sideways, and that's what I'm waiting to get confirmation on here with Bitcoin. So if we can begin to trade sideways here, what would that look like? We would, tighten the spread, maybe get a little bit of volatility, but, I anticipate that we would probably finish off the year flat. I would like to finish the year flat. I want to see volatility decrease. I want to see us do a whole lot of nothing. If we can do that and finish off the rest of the year flat, that's, to me, a really bullish sign. Now, the bearish case, what we don't want to see is we don't want to see this area right here break. So if we break below this level, get a bearish test, well, now the downtrend continues and all of the work that we have here is invalidated. So we no longer have even the beginning of a Wyckoff accumulation range. We have to start the whole process over again. So we've been in this consolidation for 2 months. That means we will have at least another 2 months of proving to the market that we have the ability to hold a support. Probably 3 months. So maybe the bearish case scenario is we finish off the year with continuing the downtrend going into 2023, where the majority of the 2023 market will be flat. I would like it if we finished off the year flat and had a little bit of a rally in 2023, but I will also say that from a macro point of view and from an accumulation standpoint, the year 2023 being sideways is going to result in a bull market that will be much higher than if we just began to rally in 2023. So even though, a lot of people want to see, prices recover and we want to see our portfolios go back up again, you're going to be better off as a whole if we begin our bull market in 2024. 2023 could be an accumulation year, and that would be a very valuable setup, but we have to take these things one level at a time. So as long as we can hold this level right here at around $20,000, there's nothing to worry about. That's basically proving itself to be a floor. So yeah, that's where we're at. So we'll take a look at the DXY in a moment, but I just want to briefly cover traditional finance. Now, we did lose a level here on the DXY, the NASDAQ. Looking to find support right here at around 12,250, somewhere around that general range for this kind of support slash resistance flip back here. Resistance, support. So we could anticipate a move back down to kind of the 12,000, 12,250 range for the NASDAQ. And also had a rejection off of this trend line that we were watching here on the S&P. So nothing too shocking, nothing too surprising. We could potentially come back down to the mean and trade sideways. I want to see us trade sideways. But yeah, going over to the DXY is the only kind of glimmer of hope in a very risk-off market condition. Now, as it stands right now, what we're looking at right now is a rally, okay? The trend is your friend until it ends. So what we're looking at on the DXY is higher highs and higher lows. We've continued to climb higher and higher. So if the trend is our friend, that means the DXY can, in theory, continue to climb higher. But the glimmer of hope, for those who don't know, as the DXY climbs, everything else goes down. It's just a proof of the risk-off environment of all markets, but we are seeing a little bit of a bearish divergence here. We've been on an absolute tear. I do think that the DXY is due for a little bit of a correction. So if we do see something like this in the DXY, where we come down and retest support and begin to consolidate, that period of consolidation will allow for risk-on assets to kind of have a little bit of a run. So we can see performance in the NASDAQ, we can see performance in the S&P, we can see performance in the major stocks. Last to perform would likely be the cryptocurrency market. So do take that into consideration as markets, the riskier the market, when you're in a risk-off environment, it's going to be the last one to start moving. So crypto is going to be the last market to start moving in any sort of bullish narrative on the global front, on the global macroeconomic front. So do take that into consideration. But let's take a look at the broader crypto market. Let's do some comparative analysis against Total and Total 2. So this is the US dollar. Let's actually let's go over to Total right here. Total is getting close to my area of interest. I want to see us hold 800 billion. If we don't hold 800 billion, we're likely going to fall down to about 500 billion. So nice, even psychological numbers. Which, that would be another 50% correction, which isn't out of the cards. Honestly, when you're in a downtrend as established as what's going on with Bitcoin, the trend is your friend. I can't stress this enough. And, people, you'll often hear that narrative, or you'll be introduced to that saying in the context of a bull market. People are making money, like, don't sell, man. Trend is your friend. The exact same thing is true when you're in a bear market, when you're making lower highs and lower lows. Don't listen to people who are telling you the bottom's in, because the trend is your friend. The bottom is in hindsight only. So as long as we can continue to print lower highs and lower lows, we can continue to print lower highs and lower lows all the way to fucking zero. Don't listen to people that preemptively call a bottom. I know it's nice to feel that, we kind of latch on to these people. It's why some of the top YouTubers are where they are today, because the YouTube algorithm favors likes over quality. and these guys will just, you know, make you feel emotionally a lot better than those who are preaching reality and those who are trying to actually help people not lose their money, because the bull market's actually really, really short. Bull markets are short. The market usually trades sideways, and it also trades down. So, you know, the bull market is the shortest piece. It's the shortest piece of any market cycle. So do take that into consideration. If you're going to YouTube and people are making you feel better about your trades and investments when the macro environment is lower highs and lower lows, you should probably consider unsubscribing those individuals because they're not giving you the truth. Yeah, so we could definitely head down from here, but let's do some comparative analysis, because I've been saying here on the channel for a while that I think retail is still in control. So we're going to go to, we have total on top, and I'm going to do total. Do I include Ethereum or do I not include Ethereum? I'm going to include Ethereum because of the Ethereum merge. And I'm going to put total 2 on bottom. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Let's just analyze the structure. Let's turn off alphanumerics. Let's turn off the volume. And we'll turn the volume back on. And let's take a look at the last year. And let's look at the rallies and reactions. So in the Wyckoff method, we will often do comparative analysis, which means you'll look at, you know, whatever asset you're willing to trade, and you'll compare it against the index. So if you were applying this to, let's say, a stock, like let's say you were wanting to buy Tesla stock, you wouldn't buy Tesla stock until you compared its performance against the NASDAQ or the S&P. I'm not sure if Tesla is in the NASDAQ or not. But anyways, if the NASDAQ holds Tesla, I don't know if it's a tech company. I don't think it's a tech company. I think it's in the S&P 500. But yeah, you would compare it to its index. And if it's not outperforming its index, you don't buy. So what we're looking at here is we see the crypto market. Oh, thank you for the follow. The way it is, 89. Close in age, my friend. It's just the way it is. When we're looking at this comparative analysis, let's actually turn auto. Make sure we have auto on there. We're pretty correlated. There's not much of a divergence between the total market cap and total 2. So again, for those who are unaware, total market cap is the entire cryptocurrency market cap, and total 2 is the entire cryptocurrency market cap excluding Bitcoin. So it's basically all of the altcoins, and we don't see an outperformance whatsoever. Now, anecdotally, I will say Ethereum has been a little bit more volatile and has been showing an ability to outperform Bitcoin, specifically the correlation between Ethereum and Bitcoin. That being said, we did lose a key level, and we're now coming in for a bearish test here. So this bearish test will likely bring us back down to the $1,000 range for Ethereum to get our true secondary test. That's kind of where we are at with Bitcoin. So again, it's wait and see. I'm not trading, and it's not because I'm not trading because I don't think I know where we're going. I'm not trading because we're not getting any big moves. If you're going to risk capital, you should be risking capital on an impulse move, whether the impulse is up and you're long or the impulse is down and you're short. Trading chop, especially if you're new, if you haven't been trading for over 5 years, and even then, that's me being very generous. Realistically, if you haven't been trading for more than 6 or 7 years, you shouldn't be trading the small term time frames because you're going to just lose money. You don't have the capital. When you're on the small time frames, you need 2 things. You need a shit ton of experience and you need a shit ton of money. When people have a small amount of money and they're trying to trade the small time frames, guess who you're up against? You're up against the whales. Okay, a whale will gladly take a 0.5% win. You're in the small time frame. timeframes looking for 5, 10, 15% wins. Who do you think is going to get out first? The whale, right? They're going to take a 0.5%, they're going to take 1%, they're going to take 1.5%. You're looking for 5, 10, 15%. They're always going to be the one that gets out first, so you're always going to be the one left holding the bags. This is just simple math. This is just how it is. This is how these markets move and how they're manipulated. Did you hear about all the AVAX stuff? Yeah, from what yes, I heard about it, and I don't give a fuck. Sorry, Chris. I know, man. You're always deep in the news stories. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about Solana. I don't give a fuck about Avalanche. I don't give a fuck about Ethereum anymore either. I think that we're having a shakeup. We're having a shakeup. It's really interesting to see just how fragile the cryptocurrency market is in regards to everything that isn't Bitcoin. It's time and time again, cycle to cycle. It's fucking Bitcoin. It's always been Bitcoin. It will always be Bitcoin. Bitcoin is crypto. There's my Bitcoin maxi side showing. Sorry, everybody. Didn't mean to do that. But you know what? Let's take a look, because when I say I don't give a fuck, what I mean by that, just to be clear, okay? I don't give a fuck about any altcoin at all right now. We're in a bear market. I don't care what the fundamentals are. I don't care what the news story is. I was already out of Avalanche. I was already out of Solana. So therefore, I could not give a fuck about what's going on with them. I'm not going to open up the document and read the story, because it's the exact same thing that happens in a bull market in reverse. In a bull market, what happens? The news stories come out and it's like, oh my God, look at this bullish reason. Look at that bullish reason. Look at this bullish reason. And you shouldn't give a fuck about those either. You shouldn't care about that either. If the number's going up, you see it on the chart, and you trade the technicals on the chart. The fundamentals that you need to understand are just the macro environment of the Wyckoff method. Is there a supply shock? That's the only fundamental you should ever pay attention to. Is there a supply shock? Yes or no? What phase in the price cycle are we in? Are we in accumulation? Are we in markup? Are we in distribution? Are we in markdown? There's four parts of the price cycle. That's the extent of it. When we're in a bull market, ignore bullish stories, ignore bearish stories. When we're in a bear market, ignore bearish stories, ignore bullish stories. It doesn't really matter. Now, let's take a look at Solana. We haven't looked at Solana in a while. Just been scalping. Just looks bad on the industry as a whole. The industry has looked bad on a whole for a while. I think that, we're entering a very interesting time in crypto, because regulators are figuring out how to control us. Regulators are figuring out how to implement policy and control over crypto. And a lot of crypto is not going to survive because of that regulation. And then the other side of the coin is we're also creating an incredible amount of infrastructure for DeFi and telling governments to go fuck themselves. We don't need your regulations. So we have two worlds kind of emerging right now. And because of these two worlds, the regulators are going to destroy anybody that they can destroy, whether it's through an entity like Avalanche or, through the legal system, whatever the case may be. Cryptos that go on to be invented from today forwards will never become a Bitcoin. You will never get a crypto. Mark my words. Listen to this. This is incredibly important information, okay? If a crypto is invented today, and from any day forwards from today, it will never be the solution for a distributed ledger for the world. Why? Because there's too much compliance, there's too much oversight, there's too much KYC, okay? What is the only one that doesn't have compliance, KYC, and oversight? There's only one. There's only one, and it's Bitcoin, okay? So if you want to create a world where this drama doesn't happen, you need to put down your shitcoin portfolio, and you need to take the ideas from Ethereum DeFi, take the ideas from liquidity pools, take the ideas from Uniswap, SushiSwap, 1inch, and just give up the fucking token because you don't need it. Take the app and put it on top of Bitcoin, and then it will never break. And this is the path forwards, I think. This is the path that I see making the most sense. Of course, we're going to have crypto bull markets. Of course, we're going to have bullish narratives. And of course, we're going to have shitcoins. But ultimately, none of them will survive because they're going to be controlled too much. And the whole point of cryptocurrency is that it can't be controlled. So if it can't be controlled, we have to cooperate. People, governments, countries, sovereign wealth funds, if nobody can control it, they all collectively need to cooperate within it. That's the key. That's the key. And there's only one crypto that does that, and it's Bitcoin. All right. So Solana holding on for dear life on this support level that we've been talking about, right around $30. When we lose this level, I'm just going to go ahead and say that we're going to lose it. We'll see you back down to $15. So another 50% correction inside of Solana. God, I got a latte today. I haven't had a latte in a long ass time. I just figured I'd try the moo juice once. I usually have my coffee black, and it's fucking disgusting. How do you guys like your coffee? Solana and Avalanche. Let's take a look at AVAX. So Solana was kind of more of a consolidation closer to Bitcoin, and Avalanche is a consolidation that's looking closer to Ethereum. Both are hanging on for dear life here. So if Avalanche falls below this, let's go to a longer chart actually. Longer chart. Yeah, we're coming back down. We're coming back down to $10. So a 50% correction looks likely for Avalanche. A 50% correction looks likely for Solana. So more bear market bullshit. Volatility is decreasing, so we are beginning to see the signs of accumulation begin to take place. But there's a long road ahead. Those two particular assets are probably going to do what Cardano did in the last cycle, where it just came down to a floor and flatlined for 18 months. So I think that these two assets will reach a floor probably around the psychological level of $10 and $15 respectively, and they're just going to fucking flatline. They're going to do nothing. Just nothing. Whether they make it to the next market, that's where the comparative analysis and the late stage Wyckoff analysis comes into play. We can't do any speculation on whether this can come back when we're trying to determine phase A accumulation. Phase B still can't. We need late stage development of the trading range. So we need phase C and phase D. If you guys have no fucking idea what I'm talking about, by the way, do click exclamation join, get into the Discord. All of this stuff is for free. You can just Google the Wyckoff method and you can get the basics of it. But inside the Discord, I've just indexed it all. All of the documents that I've used to help me learn the Wyckoff method are in there. And if you want to be taught the Wyckoff method, you can sign up for VIP and take the course. But there's really no rush. There's no rush. We're in phase A. But anyways, back to what I'm saying. It's still early, and these particular assets, I believe, are ready to flatline. Both of them are also going to do poor if the Ethereum merge is successful, because Ethereum going to proof of stake is going to make it the most widely adopted smart contract platform that will also be quite affordable. Adam looking like a huge bear flag on the daily. Adam is another one that I don't really give a fuck about. Let's do that today. Just give me tickers and I'll tell you I don't give a fuck about them. Bear flag, yeah, it's looking pretty weak. It's looking pretty weak. You can see the rounding over in the RSI here. Higher highs and higher lows, volatility increasing. It looks like it wanted to go for an up thrust. It looks like it actually got above the area of interest here. This would have been the macro resistance. It got above it, got a rejection. So that is certainly an up thrust. We can label that. We got our up thrust here, and if we fail to hold, or if we fail to give another attempt to break above this level, then we'll begin our LPSY structure back down to at least the bottom here, right at around $5. Is that $5? Yeah, $6. Maybe six or $7. So that's what we would be looking at for Atom. Let's do it this way. There we go. The longer I'm in, the more of a maxi I become. Yeah, if you're paying attention, and guys, I really, honestly, like, fundamentally, I guess it's hard for me to deny me that I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. I did not come into this market trying to be a Bitcoin maximalist, okay? I just take the data that's presented to me and I make a decision from a macro point of view. With an emphasis, with a very large emphasis on decentralization and the consolidation of power. That's like the biggest part of my entire thesis of cryptocurrency is the reason that it's special and the reason that it's different, the reason that it's not a stock market is because nobody controls it. And the longer I'm in, we're seeing incredible innovations. Right? Like, I love DeFi. I think that the idea of DeFi is incredibly profound. We saw some incredible innovation. We saw some amazing applications in the last bull run. And, in the bull run, it would be very hard to peg me as a Bitcoin maximalist. But in the back of my mind, I'm in the altcoin market so that I can make some money and then turn it into Bitcoin. That's always in the back of my mind. My base currency, the way my brain thinks, my base currency is always Bitcoin. And as I'm in this market longer and I'm seeing how we develop and I'm seeing how the regulators are clamping down on DeFi and clamping down on the cryptocurrency market, I just find myself going deeper and deeper into that mindset that really the only currency that's going to make it at the end of the day, if we're talking about a decentralized ledger for the world, for all people to be a participant on, is Bitcoin. And I will also say that I have an open mind and I'm constantly listening and I'm in the thick of it and I'm more than happy to change my opinion on that. But based off of all of the evidence, based off of everything that I've seen, the only fucking currency that's going to actually change the world and change the structures, the value systems of the world globally, the only one that actually stands a chance is Bitcoin. That's my own personal opinion. Nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody can see into the future, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I'm not liking what I'm seeing here, specifically from all of the innovations. Like it's kind of bittersweet with Ethereum because I was so stoked about DeFi. I thought Ethereum really was going to be the stock market and Bitcoin was going to be the currency. And with Ethereum going to proof of stake, it's just fucking fiat. It's a centrally controlled system. That and what's going on with Tornado Cash, the fact that regulators can come in and they can, blacklist wallets. Guys, it's over. Ethereum's done. That one fucking thing right there, it's done. Ethereum is done. Doesn't mean it can't make money in the short term because there will continue to be innovations. There will continue to be support. There will continue to be venture capital funding going into that ecosystem. So I'm not sitting here for 1 second and saying that you can't make money with Ethereum. What I'm saying is big picture of what it means for the globe to own a blockchain is I don't see anything being able to do that if it's not Bitcoin. Again, my own opinion. Isn't it all speculation and narrative? What narrative is left for BTC? Store of value and inflation hedge went to shit. You're focused on the wrong thing. Bitcoin's not. I've never said that Bitcoin is an inflation hedge. I've never said that it's a store of value. You know, if you buy in the bear market, it's a store of value for some people, but it's too volatile to be a store of value for everybody. Bitcoin is a decentralized, it's an incentive system to upkeep a global ledger that nobody controls. And we're early fucking days. Early days. Yes, you didn't buy Bitcoin at $200. You are still so fucking early, because the power of a distributed ledger that has an incentive layer that can't be disrupted, can't be shut down, can't be controlled is incredibly profound. And we're going to build stuff on top of that foundation. Right now, it's just a payments network. It's a payments network. It's not a store of value. I fucking hate that narrative. It's not a store of value. It's not an inflation hedge. It's a bullshit narrative. It is a distributed ledger. And what is a ledger? A ledger is a spreadsheet of an account of who holds what where. The foundation of every empire was built on sound money principles, meaning that if you created a structure that allowed for ownership, you could create a robust society. And what kind of infrastructure am I talking about here? So in the case of the United States, we have the title office, we have banks, we have the stock market, we have this system of value. Okay, you can own a house. And how do we know you own the house? Because there's a record that you own the deed to this house, and it's verifiable, and we can check that record, blah, 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 blah. All well and good. But at the end of the day, if you misbehave in society, your house can be seized, your assets can be frozen, your accounts can be liquidated. So the principles of money and the principles of value structures were very, very strong in the early days of the United States, like the founding father days of the United States, when things were backed by gold and the ledger was non-disputable and assets couldn't really be seized like they could today. Now we've turned into this oligarchy of control and oversight. Those fundamentals are not as solid as they were 100 years ago. Those fundamentals are significantly weaker. And if you start taking things away from people, the whole system breaks, the whole system is destroyed. And the only system that we have that can apply those same principles of the early days of America is a distributed ledger. Forget the currency, forget the money, forget fucking trying to going to the moon, forget all of that shit. Forget all of it. The most important thing is a distributed ledger, because you can build value on top of that. There's a long road ahead of us. There's a long road ahead of us. People are so fixated on the short term, they don't see what's right in front of them. And what's right in front of them is a revolutionary technology, and it's called Bitcoin. Anyways, how's that for a rant? Ay. This is no longer a TA show. It's a fucking get Blue all riled up show. Anyways, let's go back to the TA. Let's revisit shitcoin bingo. Cardano, same shit. We're below the 7. So what we've been doing here on Shitcoin Bingo, we were waiting for the green diamond. We haven't gotten the green diamond yet, so you haven't gotten a buy signal on any of these ones in Shitcoin Bingo, except for Doge, I think, did print one, but not a super strong case. This blue line represents the 7-week exponential moving average, and as long as we're below that, we're going to stay below it. We need to start trading on top of it. See, back here before the bull market took off, we got on top of it. We spent several weeks on top. several weeks on top, got back below, spent several weeks on top, and then the bull market started. Okay, so as long as we're below this blue line here, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. So let's just go quickly with that strategy in mind. Let's just quickly go through the list. Cardano, anything going to happen? No. Ape? No, nothing. CRO? No, nothing. Doge? No, nothing. Shiba Inu? Nope, nothing. Solana? Nope, nothing. Theta? Nope. VeChain? Nope. XRP? Nope. Zilliqa? Nope. So all of the shitcoin bingo assets are all below the 7. If they're below the 7, they stay below the 7. It's not until they have that day where they pop. We'll get a pop, okay? And that's called jumping across the creek. Once they pop and stay on top of those EMAs and trade there for several weeks, we're talking about the weekly time frame. You need at least 3 candles of confirmation. So once we get those 3 candles where it stays on top of the 7, look the fuck out, because now there's a potential for bull market. So yeah, as long as we're below, we're below. Maker. I fundamentally love Maker. Fundamentally love Maker. I think it's one of my favorite DAOs. And it's definitely going to be on my list of long-term investment, believe it or not. Even though it's on the Ethereum network, and even though it prints DAI, which is an Ethereum stablecoin, I still love Maker. Because I believe in Maker so strongly that if Ethereum does end up dying, I think Maker will move to Bitcoin. That's how much I believe in Maker. They're very intelligent people running that DAO. But that being said, lower levels, heading down to lower levels. So we're at $800. I think realistically we come back down to about $500. So still a move down here. It's the same thing. We need to start closing candle bodies on top of the 7 for several weeks in a row, at least 3 weeks before you can begin to speculate on a rally. We're heading down to lower levels. Looking to get some ADA at 10 cents. It's possible. It's possible. My target, I think, for ADA was 15 cents. And the reason I chose 15 cents was that was the area of the breakout for the bull market. So right around 18, but 10 cents is not off the table. What's more important than identifying price is identifying where you are in a price cycle. And we talk about this in the private group quite a bit. There's 4 positions in a market, okay? Everybody just talks about the bull market and the bear market, so they only focus on 2. There's actually 4, okay? There's accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown. And what's more important than price is just being able to identify this point right here. If you're an investor, you just need to understand the transition between accumulation and markup. So you will be late to the party, but if you're good at identifying this area right here, and if you're good at identifying this area right here, you will be the best fucking macro analyst, the best fucking trader out there. I mean, the legends of trading were Jesse Livermore, Richard D. Wyckoff, and I don't know the methods of analysis that Warren Buffett used. I don't know if he even does TA really, but this is the most powerful thing that you can learn. There's 4 parts to a market cycle. There's 4 parts to a price cycle. Learning what those feel like, learning what those look like, and then understanding what a transition from one of those looks like as well is incredibly profound and powerful and simple too. But it takes a lot of time. It's very macro. That's why this method is not a very popular, is because when people get wrapped up in the bull market, everything's exciting, everything's moving quickly, there's a ton of innovation, there's a ton of YouTube videos. Oh, I need to look at this protocol, that protocol, I need to understand this, I need to understand that, and I need to do it today. I don't have time to do it tomorrow. And people really fixate on the short term. and they lose sight of the macro. And you know, that trading, that price cycle analysis that I just explained to you, it basically puts you in a trade after like waiting for 3 years, and then it takes you out of a trade like 18 months later. And that's the whole fucking trade. Just one trade, and that's the whole fucking trade. So it's not popular. It's not popular because there's so much noise. There's so much noise and bullshit in the crypto market. You have everybody yelling at you to become a millionaire tomorrow, that you really get overwhelmed and you can't fucking, you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. You're paralyzed. You're paralyzed from FOMO, and you're paralyzed from this over analysis of the short term. Oh, I'm glad that you enjoyed the rants, Chris, because I feel like I bully you, and I hope you don't feel like that. I really hope you don't feel like that, because I do not try to bully you at all. You come to me with news stories and stuff, and I don't know if you do it on purpose, but you're hyper focused on the fundamental side of things, which is fine. You know, that's a big story. It's a big news story. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a big story. But I hope you don't feel as though I'm like beating up on you just because, you know, you're the messenger. It could be anybody that says that. I really do enjoy the topics that you bring to the table, and I'm glad to hear that you actually enjoy my ranting as well. So thank you. Yeah. All right. This one's just for me. This TA is just for me. There's 3 charts that I want to look at, all of which have not shown the ability to make anybody any money. So, you know, this is really just for me. But I really like Monero. I think that if I was to pick a second cryptocurrency that I thought was fundamentally profound for being impactful in the world, I would choose Monero. Now, the reality of Monero is it's not available anywhere. Nobody can get their hands on Monero. Like, you're either trading a derivative of Monero, you can get Monero on Binance, but it's just, you kind of need to mine Monero or be active on the dark web and, you know, transacting with people who are also part of the Monero community. It's a very niche group of crypto, and it has not proven to the market to be a very good place to make money. We're getting rejection from the mean of this channel, so I would expect a move back down to about the $100 range of Monero. So it could be an area of interest for anybody who is somebody who likes to use the Monero protocol. It's certainly not a protocol that I throw a bunch of money at, but if you're concerned about your privacy and you don't know the necessary steps to remain private on Bitcoin, Monero is just super easy. If you're using Monero, you're private. There's nothing to worry about. You can use Bitcoin in a way that will reveal your identity, and you can use Bitcoin in a way that hides your identity. But it requires a lot of knowledge for you to know the difference between those two activities. So you can make mistakes if you're trying to be private on Bitcoin and you haven't taken the time to learn how. Whereas with Monero, it's fucking easy. If you're using Monero, you're private. End of story. That's why I like Monero. As far as an investment, I don't know. Doesn't look too great. Another one that I like. These are 2 that I want to add to my bag. We've talked about this one in the past. This is GMX. I have no position in GMX right now, and I'm not interested in buying GMX until it does about a 60% correction. But I like these types of protocols because it is what some people are starting to call real yield. So right in DeFi with like Uniswap and SushiSwap and 1inch and all that shit, we had you know, just generated yield because we picked an arbitrary number. We're going to give you this much token if you just stake your stable coins. And, you know, you're not really creating value. Whereas this if you're using GMX is a derivatives exchange, by the way, so it's trading futures contracts. Lots of people in crypto love futures contracts. They love them. There's an abundance of degenerates in this space trading with 10x, 20x, 30x leverage. There isn't 30x on GMX or 20x, but there's a lot of people using leverage. So this is a decentralized exchange that takes care of derivatives. So it has derivatives on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And when you're liquidated, you pay a fee, just like a real exchange. That fee doesn't go to make Binance richer. That fee doesn't go to make FTX richer. That fee doesn't go to make BitMEX richer. That fee goes into a pool, and then the pool distributes that to the token stakers. So if you hold GMX and you stake your tokens, you're entitled to other people's dumb mistakes. You're entitled to other people's liquidations. That's a good business model. I mean, how many fucking degenerates blew up their account this bull market? A lot of people blew up their fucking accounts. And if you can take their money, if you can become the exchange, exchanges are rich, man. Binance is fucking rich. FTX is fucking rich. Sam Bankman-Fried is a multi-billionaire. There's a lot of fucking money in collecting these fees, is what I'm saying. There's a lot of fucking money in collecting these fees. So if you become a staker and you start collecting other people's stupidity, you can make a lot of money. Like I already said, I have no position in this, and I have no interest in buying any of this token at this price. But I really like the model. And we're going to start seeing more and more of these. This is what's referred to as real yield. Not my term. This is just something that I read. It's called real yield because it's actually taking a service and capturing the value and distributing it to the shareholders. Another one that does this is LooksRare. Now, this is capturing NFT volume. So GMX is capturing futures traders. LooksRare is capturing the revenue from NFT traders. Now, the NFT market is still a bit of a question mark right now. And moreover, OpenSea still is the king. So it's not like we're capturing value from OpenSea. We're capturing value from OpenSea, LooksRare, which is an OpenSea competitor. If LooksRare is able to capture a lot of value, then this is also a fantastic investment. Nothing here is financial advice, guys. I'm just sharing with you my thoughts and ideas. And please don't just listen to anybody on YouTube and go and buy shit without looking into it yourself. It has to make sense to you, not because of me trying to protect myself. I'm not saying that just to protect myself. I'm saying that because if you don't do your own research and you don't feel that it's a good idea, you specifically will not have conviction to that trade. And if you don't have conviction to that trade, you will get shaken out of that trade. That's why it's important that I make that point to tell you to do your own research. You can't just trust me. You have to be convinced. So please go and look at that. So yeah, those are some TA that I'm looking at. It looks like we're kind of slowing down, and LooksRare looks like it's the closest one to an accumulation right now. So that's all fine and dandy. Full disclosure, I do have a position in LooksRare. I am using the Looks compounder because I want to have more Looks tokens. But ultimately, when you stake Looks tokens, you get wrapped Ethereum. You have a choice. You can collect more Looks, or you can collect wrapped Ethereum. So yeah, I think that those are valuable. Anyways, that is all the time I have for today. If you guys enjoyed this content, please leave it a like. It does help out the YouTube algorithm. I've never really focused on the like button much myself, but I've been reflecting a lot on why the people at the top are at the top, and it's because of the YouTube algorithm. They're at the top because they're telling people that they're smart, okay? They're telling people that they're smart. They're telling people that they're safe. They're telling them that they're going to become a millionaire. And so what do people do? They like that. They're like, fuck yeah, I like this guy. BitBoy makes me feel safe. And they smash the like button. You may not like what I have to say. You may not agree with what I have to say. But if you appreciate somebody who's on YouTube, who's not working with the algorithm, who's not taking paid ads, who's not taking any influences, and is just, even if you think I'm wrong, trying my best to create an unbiased opinion of the crypto market from years of experience, I've been in this market for a while, then hit the like button, because then we can start to get more and more people with that type of mindset higher in the ranks on YouTube. So if you don't mind, please, that would be fantastic. Thank you all for joining into the live stream, and please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.